What if you could pass a flexible, self-documenting set of options to any function without creating a complex mess? Keyword lists are the Elixir secret weapon for managing optional arguments gracefully and idiomatically. Dive into the Wine Cellar exercise with me and see how this fundamental data structure brings clarity to even the trickiest data filtering challenges. Howdy, I'm Kevin. In these videos, I explore AI tools to help us learn. For example, I use AI tools like NotebookLM to explain concepts and Copilot for autocomplete and to automate for efficiency. I balance AI with my experience as a senior dev to show you how to solve the exercise and keep AI honest. Watch this video for a better presentation of the exercise and the Elixir concepts than the exorcism instructions alone provide. And of course, for my solution. Maybe yours will be better than mine.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are uncorking a fantastic Elixir exercise called Wine Cellar. We're going to build a filtering system for a restaurant, but more importantly, we're going to master a core concept that will make your Elixir code so much cleaner, way more readable, and just a lot more powerful.
I've downloaded the Wine Cellar exercise using the exorcism CLI and loaded it into VS Code. I've also gone ahead and run our generate docs prompt, which inspects the README and hints document and adds function documents to our source code.
So what's the secret? Well, the key to this whole transformation is a wonderfully simple and powerful data structure in Elixir, the keyword list. This is the main thing we're learning about today, so let's get a really clear picture of what these are. So what exactly is a keyword list? Well, at its heart, it's just a list of two-element tuples. The first part, the key, has to be an atom. The second part, the value, can be literally anything. And what's really important to remember is that their order is preserved, and you can even have duplicate keys. All right, let's get our hands dirty with step 1, explaining colors. I mean, before we can filter wines, we need a way to represent the basic data about them, right? Okay, the instruction here is pretty straightforward. We need to create a function called explain colors. It takes 0 arguments, that's what the little 0 means, and it just needs to return our wine colors and their descriptions.
First instruction is to return a keyword list of the colors of their wine and their human description. Fortunately, unfortunately for us, the generate docs prompt that I used put the final answer right here in the documentation. So rather than watch me type it all, I'll just copy and paste it. And what this does is returns a keyword list with the keys white and description, red and its description, and rose and its description.
Okay, now for the core of the exercise, actually creating the filter function. We're going to start simple with a basic implementation that just filters by a single color. So the task is to build a filter function that takes 3 arguments, a list of wines, a color, and a list of options. For right now, all it needs to do is just find and return all the wines that match the given color.
The second instruction is to filter the list of wines by color. So we'll be given a keyword list that has the color is the key, and the value is going to be a tuple with the variety, the year, and the country. And what we're supposed to do is get the values for every matching color. So if they pass in white, we're supposed to return Chardonnay 2015, 2014, and this Pinot Grigio 2015. The function to do that is in the keyword module, and it's get values. We want to give it the cellar, that's the keyword list of wines that we just looked at, and the color. That will return an array, not an array, a list of these tuples.
Okay, time to level up. We're going to combine the last 2 steps of the exercise now to add some advanced filtering capabilities for both year and country. The instructions are crystal clear. We need to extend our filter/3 function. If a year option is passed in, it should filter by year. If a country option gets passed, it filters by country. And here's the most important part. It has to work if both are provided, no matter what order they're in.
The third instruction is where I think the the exercise gets really interesting because there's a number of approaches you could take from here. We're supposed to get all the wines of a given color bottled in a given year. So we're going to be looking at the options that are passed in, and we're going to see that there's a year keyword in there, and we want to filter the list based on that year. The built-in function that the hints is referring to is keyword.get, and that would get the value if it's present in the options. So if you passed in year 2015, it would get 2015. But if year is not there, you'll get nil. And it says we don't need to implement the filtering because they've provided them. And I'm going to go with the spirit of the exercise is you need to conditionally use the already implemented filter. So what I'm going to interpret that to be is if we get a year out of the options, then we'll filter by year, otherwise we won't. So how that would look here is we can say if keyword dot get, now we want to pass it the options, that's our list of keywords, and year, then we're going to filter, otherwise we're not going to filter. And what we need here is that this is the list of wines that we're going to filter on. So now we're going to come in and get all the wines of the right color. Then we're going to say if we have gotten a year, then we're going to filter by it. If we haven't, we're going to just return the list of wines. Think of a keyword list like a custom ordered factory conveyor belt where items are placed sequentially and each position is labeled with a clear, permanent stamp. Unlike a generic storage bin, like a map, this belt preserves the insertion order, and if you need to run a task twice, you just place the same labeled item on the belt again. It's all about a predictable, sequential process. Step 4 is to do the same thing we did for year, but for country. So first we'll save off the return from our if check on the year, and we'll write the same thing, but for country. So if there is a country in the options, then we'll filter by it, otherwise we'll just return the wines. Because keyword lists are simply a list of tuples, they allow you to easily add new options without changing the function's arity or breaking existing callers. If your filtering evolves to include a vintage or price option, you can update the function's logic to handle the new key, and all your old code will continue to work perfectly. This flexibility is key to building maintainable, future-proof systems. There's a number of things the way this exercise shakes out that people could want to improve. One idea is that we're calling keyword get to get the year, and then we're doing that again here. This is implicitly checking to see whether something is nil or falsy. You could make that clearer by using the has key function on keyword. That would return true or false. So if it does have a year, then go get it and use it. Otherwise, don't. So that would be one. A lot of people like the access mechanism. Instead of typing out keyword get, you can use a access syntax. So you can just say keyword list and then in brackets what you'd like to get the value. And this will also return nil if there is no year keyword in the options. Did you know? Elixir syntax is more expressive than you might realize. The do end blocks you use to define functions and modules are not special language constructs. They're actually just syntactic sugar for passing a keyword list to a function call. This is how Elixir achieves its incredible power of metaprogramming.
And this right here is the solution. It's so elegant. We start with our base list of wines, already filtered by color. Then we just check the options keyword list. Is there a year key? Cool. We pipe our current list of wines into a filter by year helper function. Then we ask, is there a country key? If so, we pipe the result of that into the filter by country helper. It's like a chain of small composable transformations, all driven by what keys are in our options list. It's flexible, readable, and super easy to add more to later.
The other approach that I would understand people wanting to do and have seen done is to be able to pipe these filters all together, where you can say, get me the wines, then filter by year, then filter by country, and it would look something like this. And we would pass in the options, or we'd pass in the options country, let's say. And then we would filter by year and the options of the year. And then we can get rid of these if checks, and we can get rid of this assignment. The only trouble with this is that there's nothing in the code down below here to handle the fact that these could be nil and that what we want back is the list of wines. And so you could add your own filter by year when you're given a list of wines and nothing for a year, then just return the wines, and filter by country when you're giving nothing, filter by just return the wines. And then this succeeds very nicely, and it's a nice piped operation. Get me the values, filter them, and then filter them, and then the return is just the wines that are left, and you get your answer. This is the solution I'm going to submit. I think it's the one that's in spirit with the instructions the best. It's simply introducing the keyword get values and get function, and then filtering conditionally based on that value. Certainly those other approaches are very good as well. You didn't just filter wine today, you practiced one of the ways Elixir has for handling flexible data with order and clarity. Keyword lists teach us that structured, self-documenting data is a first step toward clean, functional code. Keep focusing on intent, not just procedure, and your code will get exponentially clearer. I'm always refining the content based on the ever-changing AI landscape. Which AI content did you like, and what AI feature would you like to see me use in a future video? Let me know in the comments. Don't let your learning get filtered out. Like this video and subscribe to keep seeing high-valued, structured tutorials like this one. It's the best way to keep your Elixir education on track. Dive into the playlist to continue building your expertise one powerful function at a time.